Mutants! Now that I've got your attention, let's indeed talk mutants within Marvel Contest of Champions. Everybody and their friend over the last week has sent me this image here. Obviously, if you're not familiar, this is the current loading screen. And it doesn't just feature 2 new mutants, it features a whole lot of other mutants that are being teased to us from Marvel Contest of Champions. So let's explore all these new champions that could potentially come in this year or maybe next year into the game. So some of you might be going, hey Rich, I can't see any new mutants, what are you talking about? Well, through the magic of, well, clicking a button, we get this image here. See, we kind of burst the budget when it comes to the RichTheMan channel and kind of quality kind of flicking through and editing. It's not, I just click the button and it's here. Anyway, new champions that are coming in. We've got Omega Red, we've got Armor, we've got Sunspot, we've got Legion, we've got Mimic, we've got Emma Frost, and of course, we've got Mr. Sinister. All these new mutant characters are really exciting for me, as I really resonate with X-Men animated series Legion, all new mutants. There's so many different things with comic books and film, and also with television, that makes me incredibly excited about what Kabam could offer either this year or next year with regards to champions. We've seen the likes of Bishop, and also we have Mr. Sabretooth, which are in this image at the moment. And this is a really exciting time for me, as well as other people like Frojo. Okay, so the next question is, Rich, how does this factor into the puzzle? It's difficult to answer that. I think by cable to the right, you'll probably see Bishop. To the left of Weapon X is going to be Sabretooth. To the right of Old Man Logan is possibly going to be Sentinel. So obviously that's that tech side of things and that link. And then, yeah, this is where the difficulty lies. Will we see 2 more mutants in the shape and form of Cyclops to the left? And that's the 90s version, and then the Xavier School one to the right. What is going to be there, and will we see a further one? So I think we'll probably see another 2 mutants at some point this year, but it is up for discussion of who it could really be. And in this video, what we're going to do is explore each of the new champions teased and how much of an impact they will have to the contest when they're added, because there's a good 2 to 3 and maybe even 4 that are going to be exponentially powerful, and Kabam have got to really make sure they get these right if they do plan in the future, in the next couple of years, to put them into the game. So without further ado, let's have a look at these mutants. So let's begin with Omega Red. Omega Red is essentially the kind of the super soldier creation of the Soviet Union, and it's this kind of really cool aspect, similar to like Winter Soldier, that I think is original and at the same time has this like links to like mutant based programs, in that they were trying to create adamantium, but instead the Soviets created something called carbonadium, which means that it's more malleable of a metal, and you can see like the tentacle based aspect. Imagine like Dr. Octavius as you would in this kind of shape and form, but having more of a kind of aspect of regeneration, kind of life stealing, which is kind of energy absorption, which is going to see a really cool character. Although he's not ranked up as being like one of the most extreme with regards to potency of mutants, he has so many things going for him. With regards to his life force that he needs to sustain, he's similar to like a vampire. Like he needs to sustain like blood, but it's like he needs to absorb like energy force in order to kind of continue on. The same thing like the death factor side of things. He can emit some kind of amazing stuff, killing humans or kind of really maiming mutants to a point that they're kind of getting this type of poisoning. It's similar to like, obviously we've got standard poisoning and spirit venom. This is going to have to be a whole new type of poison that the game mechanics will have to enter. So in short, the kind of character has this kind of aspect of kind of suicide, in that he is theoretically dying. And how will that work out? Will he have to be constantly like life stealing? Will you see the fact of like constant regeneration? It's kind of similar again to like stuff like adrenaline and the way that works, in that you could reclaim health, except for obviously you're losing a lot more. Similar but not the same. Next up is Armor, and I'm so glad to see a champion or character like this. I'm probably saying it wrong. It's meant to be said as Armor, but obviously I want to say Armor because just in case of like confusing anybody, Armor. Either way, it's great to see more diversity with characters, and having a Japanese entry is excellent. Obviously, if Kabam want to get into the Japanese market with regards to release, this is the way to go with regards to saying, hey, we got a Japanese character in. And also, character is pretty darn cool. Similar to mutants like Colossus, she creates this kind of outside exoskeleton, except she goes further. The physionic exoskeleton is so much more powerful and enhances all abilities. So she is faster, she is stronger, she's all of these things and more. So when it's a point, obviously we'll see this in the game. Will she then go straight into it at the point at the start of the battle, this exoskeleton? Will it come out at certain points? What will it essentially do? Will it mean the dexterity is faster? Will it mean that when she is hit, then she reverberates back, similar to new champions like Killmonger? What will this be? I'm really excited to see how they work this, because the exoskeleton looks a bit Hulkbuster-esque, except it is so much better. Next up is Sunspot, and this again is a great shout with regards to diversity and kind of ethnic differences, which is really important. It's good to see these kind of new champions, Japanese, now we've got Brazil. So from Rio de Janeiro comes Roberto, and he obviously is Sunspot. Okay, so let's talk about Sunspot's powers, and this is where he gets a little bit more complex. He works well with stuff with regards to solar. So will we see something similar to like charges on things like the amount of solar charges that he could create in order to then maximize things with regards to sending out energy like pulses? Will there be something with regards to heat and fire? Now this guy is fire and heat immune, so it should be a case that this is represented in the game. It's something, and the biggest critical thing that I think at the moment is champions that should be fire resistant or fire immune in the game. That's something that should be in there. Either way, this champion will probably be that at the point of going into the game. Sunspot also has the ability to energy absorb, similar to Bishop and also similar to Captain Marvel. And also you would see him flying, so they're going to have to work on that dynamic. Maybe something similar to, say, what they've done with Hyperion, because that works quite well, and also Rogue. Next up is Legion, and this guy, apart from being the son of Charles Xavier, is one of the most powerful mutants that there are at the moment, especially for the new line of mutants. So where do I start with Legion? Apart from him being an alpha level mutant, which is more than omega level, he has the access to multiple omega level mutations with regards to powers. He is the mutant, the most powerful mutant there probably has ever been. Legion, in short, is an absorption of personalities and psyches when it comes to getting his powers. How this will be transferred in the game, I have no idea how they're going to work this. Whether or not it's a case whoever you're fighting off against, you absorb their kind of psyche and then or their personality or their mutation or what makes them tick and their abilities. Will it then kind of work as a persistent thing? So it's a case that he will then absorb things as he goes throughout the battle. So he could go up against a Wolverine and absorb regeneration ability and also the ability to bleed enemies. Like, how will this work is going to be a really difficult one. If Kabam really do want to put this champion in, then they're going to have to really think how they're going to make him too powerful. He is referred to as the God Mutant. So, good luck, Kabam, with putting this in. Hope you do, and how you would be able to take this guy down is going to be very difficult. Obviously, ability reductions, take down those accuracy is going to have to be a thing, but he's going to be pretty darn powerful. Next up is Emma Frost, or Silver Boobs McGee. It's kind of odd. I don't know where that name comes from. I've seen it a few times, and also it's on here in the Marvel Wikia. I've tried to see if it's like in a comic book thing, and I think it is. Someone calls, I don't know in what context, but somebody calls her that name. Either way, you may be familiar with this character if you saw X-Men First Class. When it comes to powers, this character gets two types of mutations. The first one is all about telepathy and the strength of the mind, similar to obviously Charles Xavier, and it's on the level with regards to that. It's really darn strong. So you're going to see stuff with regards to mind control and stuff that I would have liked to see from a Jean Grey if she was ever put in a kind of a 90s version. Unfortunately, in this kind of tease list that we've seen, she wasn't there. But something of equal might is going to be in shape or form of Emma Frost. When it comes to Emma Frost, I don't think there's going to be an end to what she can achieve with her powers, and how that will be transferred to the game will be quite fascinating. How they're able to kind of absorb all these different powers into one specific champion, but obviously not forgetting the fact that she can also switch into a diamond form, which enhances so many different things. Are we going to see the first part of the abilities? Are we going to see the second part, the diamond abilities on the secondary, or the first one with regards to the telepathy? Or are we going to see both? This is when things get, again, really fascinating and really exciting for what they could do with this champion. And the final character to talk about is Nathaniel Essex, Mr. Sinister himself. This guy has a rich history of so many interesting things, links to Apocalypse, links to Cable, links to Jean Grey and Cyclops. But the main thing is he's so interested in evolution and even mutation evolution and how that should change the shape and form of mutations in the future. And you're going to see some incredible powers with this guy. Now on to abilities, and this guy has some incredible ones. His regenerative ability is so much more powerful than any others. If you watch the X-Men animated series, you'll see that he has like taking huge chunks and then that's been able to be regenerated. The same thing, like a lot of DNA kind of splicing and DNA manipulation of mutants has meant that he has got a load of access to different powers. This character has incredible speed, power, like you name it, it's there. Telepathy, telekinesis. It's all there in spades. And essentially, and similar to Thanos, he has immortality. So expect someone that is going to be incredible when they're put into the game. Oh, finally, and I nearly forgot, Mimic. This is a very odd character and actually similar to a lot of the ones that we're going to talk about and have talked about. That he kind of like absorbs abilities. I mean, similar to like Legion, but obviously not as powerful. This guy is still pretty cool. He's kind of odd as well because he's like a villain turn kind of hero turn villain again. It's a very kind of anti-hero meets hero. He doesn't really know what he's up to be honest. Now when it comes to Mimic's abilities, it is a bit of a shame not to see Morph instead of Mimic in the game, but you can't have everything. Either way, there's a lot of permanent powers that have been absorbed to Angel's Wings, as we've seen, and that's something you're going to see a lot of. In some cases, he's been able to be Colossus and also have Wolverine's adamantium claws. There's like so many kind of like cool aspects to this champion and this character, but with regards to being put into the game, I think a lot of like players will kind of go, well, I'm not kind of like sure about this. And that I think will be self-evident. So a lot of permanent powers will have to be there. So hopefully he gets a combination, but he's probably going to retain a lot of very standard powers as opposed to anything so amazing. So you'll see maybe some kind of stuff with Cyclops and also some stuff with maybe telepathy. I don't know if they'll ever work that into the game. But I think this will be a very missable mutant. So thank you very much for watching this video all about these teased mutants and also exploring their abilities and how they could be a real game changer within the game and how they would really work at an implementation point of view. And if you have any thoughts about these new champions that could be potentially come into the game in the next couple of years, then have your say in the comments section below. I've been RichTheMan. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content, maybe share it with a friend that's interested in these new mutants being teased, and as always, I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.